Canada's soft approach to Khalistani terrorists is back in focus with Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar's death anniversary. What happened on Tuesday is that the Canadian Parliament marked the one-year death anniversary of Nijjar by holding a moment of silence. Well, this commemoration comes amid heightened tensions between Canada and India, especially after Canada previously alleged that the Indian government was involved in Nijjar's killing. Post his death, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau publicly referred to Nijjar as a Canadian national, seemingly overlooking his terrorist affiliations. Nijjar, the chief of Khalistan Tiger Force, was killed in Canada's Surrey, outside British Columbia's Gurdwara, on the 18th of June last year. His name was on the list released by the Indian government with 40 other designated terrorists. Shashank continues to be with us. Shashank, this is provocation of the highest order at the Canadian Parliament, and those visuals have since gone viral, observing a 1-minute silence for a terrorist who was killed.
Absolutely. The Indian government, I think this has already caused a lot of reaction from India. In fact, you see the Consulate General of India in Vancouver coming out very quickly and saying that they're actually going to be marking a very different kind of anniversary, which is the anniversary of the Air India Kanishka bombings, which took place on 23rd June in the 1984. So they're out there to say that, you know what, you want to mark the death anniversary of someone we see as a designated terrorist. Well, we're going to mark the anniversary of one of the greatest victims and disasters of the Khalistan activities in the West, which is the Air India Kanishka bombing. So India is sending a very strong message that it's not going to stand for something like this. It's making very clear that actually we're going to be talking about the victims of Khalistani terrorism, whereas, you know, the Canadian Parliament is going out and memorializing someone who India sees as a terrorist. And it's absolutely not, you know, we had Prime Minister Trudeau come out a couple of days ago and say that, look, we want to engage with India questions of law and security. But India's not going to be amused by something like this. It shows that, in fact, Canadian politicians have learned nothing about what India has been talking about in terms of the threats posed by the Khalistan cause to India and to the security of the global community more generally.
All right, Shashank, I'm going to thank you for getting us those details and putting that into perspective. So India was expecting protests, and they have, in fact, been planned across Canada, specifically in Vancouver. But this, in fact, is provocation that we are referring to. Shashank telling us about the 1-minute silence today that was observed, in fact, yesterday, rather, in the Canadian Parliament in memory of slain terrorist Nijjar, who died, in fact, who was killed, rather, 1 year ago.